Greetings of the day. I welcome you all for 5th session of course Numerical Methods and Computer Programming. Now let us see some more numericals on bisection method which we have studied in the previous session. So let us consider the example where we have to determine the root of equation cos x minus 1.3x is equal to 0 using bisection method with the accuracy of 0.01. So as we know that function is cos x minus 1.3x and accuracy is given, that is 0.01, but the initial cases are not given. So now let us start solving this particular example using bisection method. So let us start with finding out the initial cases. Now there is one important note that whenever the equation contains trigonometric terms, keep the calculator in radian mode. So now here our equation contains trigonometric term as cos x. You must on the radian mode on your calculator. So now let us assume initial cases starting from 0. To find out f of x when x is equal to 0, we will put value of x as 0 in the equation. So cos 0 minus 1.3 into 0 will get f of 0 is equal to 1. So when we are considering initial case as 0, we are getting function as 1, which is positive. Now let us assume next initial case as 0.5 and calculate f of x, that is cos 0.5 minus 1.3 into cos. We get f of x, that is f of 0.5 is equal to 0.2275, which is also positive. So if you consider initial cases as 0 and 0.5, these two initial cases will be wrong because sign of both the functions is same or it is positive. So let us assume next initial case as 1 and let us find the respective function. So cos 1 minus 1.3 into 1, we get function of x, that is f of 1 is equal to minus 0.7596. So now if you compare the value of function when x is 0.5 and x is 1, you may find that, or you will find that sign for this function and this function are opposite. Or if we check the condition that f of 0.5 multiplied by f of 1 is less than or equal, is less than 0 or not, then we can substitute these values, that 0.2275 into minus 7596 will be equal to minus 0.1728, which is less than 0. Hence initial cases at 0.5 and 1 are correct. So for the first iteration we will start with assuming x1 will be equal to 0.5 and x2 will be equal to 1. So here we have fixed the initial cases, and now we will go for solving this equation, solving this particular numerical using bisection method. So now let us go for the next step, that is iteration 1. So as we know that x1 is 0.5 and x2 as 1, because if you find the function of f of x1 is 0.2275 and function of x2 is minus 0.7596, these two initial cases are correct. So next step in the bisection method is to calculate new approximated root using the formula x3 is equal to x1 plus x2 divided by 2. That is nothing but we are finding out the midpoint between x1 and x2 by taking sum of these 2 points divided by 2. So here we get x3 equal to 0.5, that is x1, plus x2 as 1 divided by 2, which is 0.75. So now let us find the f of x3. So we will put this 0.75 value in the equation. We get cos 0.75 minus 1.3 into 0.75, which is equal to minus 0.2433. Now if you see the sign of this particular function, it is negative. So now let us compare the signs of f of x1, that is this term, f of x2, that is this term, and f of x3, that is this particular term. So if we compare, we will find that f of x1 is positive, f of x2 is negative, and f of x3 is also negative. So as we know that we have one check, that if f of x1 into f of x3, that is if we take multiplication of f of x1 and f of x3 is less than 0, and f of x2 into f of x3 is greater than 0, or we can remember that we have to replace either x1 or x2 with respect to that whose f of x has same sign as that of f of x3. So now if we take multiplication of f of x1 and f of x3, so this is f of x1 and this is f of x3. So if we take multiplication of these two, it will be a negative value, because this is positive and this is negative, so which is less than 0, isn't it? And if we take multiplication of f of x2 and f of x3, both are negative, so multiplication will be positive. Or we can remember in such fashion that whose value or whose sign which is same as sign of f of x3 will be replaced. So here you can say the sign of f of x2 and f of x3 are same, so we will replace x2 with x3. So now we will get value of x2 as 0.75. So now since the accuracy criteria is given here, what we can do is, what is the accuracy, we should know this first. The accuracy is nothing but we have to find out the difference between x2 and x1, because when in the last iterations, when we are getting very closer to approximated root, this subtraction between two initial guesses must be equal to 0. So here in this particular example it is given as 0.01. So at this point we have to find out the accuracy. So here we will consider the accuracy by finding out the subtraction, that we know that x2 is 0.75 and x1 is as it is, which is 0.5. So if we take subtraction, that absolute value of subtraction of 0.75 and 0.5, we get answer as 0.25, so which is greater than 0.01. So we need to go for next iteration. So for next iteration, the new values of initial guesses are considered to be, x1 will be as it is, which is 0.5, but now your x2 has been replaced with x3, which is x2 will be equal to 0.75. So now let us go for iteration 2. As we know that new values of initial guesses as 0.5 and 0.75, because function of 0.5 is 0.2275 and function of 0.75 is minus 0.2433, which both the signs of both functions are opposite, so these initial guesses are correct, which we have already validated in the previous iteration. So now let us find out the new approximation root using the usual formula, as x3 is equal to x1 plus x2 divided by 2. So we get x3 is equal to 0.5 plus 0.75 divided by 2, which is equal to 0.625. So now we have to check the sign of this particular function when x is equal to 3, x where your x is nothing but x3. So f of x3 will be equal to cos 0.625, this is this value, minus 1.3 into 0.625 equal to minus 1.5368 into 10 raised to minus 3, or it can be written as minus 0.0015368, which is negative. So when you put the value of x3 in the equation, we get answer as minus 0.0015368, which is negative. So as we know, next step is we have to compare the sign of f of x1, x2 and x3. So here if you consider sign of f of x1 is positive, sign of f of x2 is negative, you can see here, and sign of f of x3 is also negative. So as we know that the function with the negative value of f of x3 and x2, we can replace x2 with x3 again, because sign of x2, f of x2 and f of x3 are same, that is negative. So new value of x2 will be equal to 0.625. So now let us check the accuracy criteria. So absolute subtraction between 0.625 and 0.5 is equal to 0.125, which is also greater than 0.01, hence we have to go for next iteration. So for next iteration, the values of initial cases will be considered as x1 will be as it is, which is 0.5, and x2 will be equal to, now it is replaced by 0.625. So let us go for next iteration. So as we have seen, we have assumed the new values as 0.5 and 0.66625 because signs of their respective functions are opposite. Let us find out the new approximated root using the usual formula, as x3 is equal to x1 plus x4 divided by 2. So we get value of x3 as 0.5625. Again we have to check the sign of respective function. So we put value of x3 in the equation and we find out respective function, that is f of x3. So cos 0.5625 minus 1.3 into 0.5625, the answer is nothing but 0.1146. Now it is positive. So now if you compare the signs of f of x1, x2 and x3, you will find that sign of f of x1 is positive, sign of f of x2 is negative, and sign of f of x3 is positive. So now you have to, so if you compare the sign of f of x1 and f of x3 are same, so you have to replace your x1 with x3, because sign of f of x3 and f of x1 are same. So now your x1 becomes minus 0.5625, which was nothing but x3 in the previous steps. So instead of 0.5, now your x1 is 0.5625. Now let us check the accuracy using the same criteria. So absolute subtraction between 0.625 and 0.5625 will be equal to 0.0625, which is also greater than 0.01. So we have to go for next iteration. But now here for next iteration, the value of x1 will be changed, which is nothing but 0.5625. Here it is wrong, actually I should change this. x1 has been replaced with the value of 0.5625 and x2 will be as it is. So value of x2 was 0. As it is, which is equal to 0.625. So for the next iteration we have to consider the new values, that is iteration 4, as x1 will be equal to 0.5625 and x2 is equal to 0.625, because if you see the functions, the function of f of x1 is positive and function of f of x2 is negative. So these two initial cases are correct, which we have validated in the previous iteration. So let us find out value of x3 as new approximated root. So x3 is equal to 0.5937. Let us put this value in again in the equation, that cos 0.5937 minus 1.3 into 0.5937, the answer is 0.0570. Again it is positive. So if you compare the values of f of x1, x2 and x3, you will find that values of f of x1 and f of x3 are same. Hence again here also we replace x1 with x3. So now your x1 becomes 0.5937. So again we have to check the accuracy criteria, check the accuracy using the same criteria. So absolute subtraction between 0.625, which is nothing but x2, and 0.5937, which is x1. So answer is 0.0313, which is also greater than 0.01. Hence we have to go for next iteration. So here also we have replaced the value of x1 with x3, that is 0.59. I have to make this correction. So x1 is replaced by the value 0.5937 instead of 0.5625, and x2 will be as it is. So x2 value will be equal to 0.625. So now if we go for the next iteration, assuming the same values of x1 as 0.5937 and x2 will be as it is as 0.625. So let us go for next iteration. So now let us perform the fifth iteration with values of x1 is equal to 0.5937 and x2 will be equal to 0.625. So let us find out the next approximated root, as x3 will be equal to midpoint between these 2 points. So value of x3 will come out to be 0.6093. Let us find out the function of the f of x3, value of f of x3. So which is cos 0.6039 minus 1.3 into 0.6039, which is equal to 0.0278. Now it is positive. So again we have to replace the value of x2 with x3, x1 with x3, because the function, the sign of x3, f of x3 and f of x1 is same. So if we, as I already said, if we compare the signs of these three functions, we will find that sign of f of x1 and f of x3 are same. So let us replace x1 with x3. So now your x1 value becomes, x1 will be equal to 0.6039. So let us check the accuracy using same criteria. So absolute difference between 0.625, that is x2, and 0.6039, which is x1, the answer is 0.0157. Still this is greater than the accuracy value as 0.01. So let us go for considering the new initial guesses, as x1 is now replaced by the value 0.6039 and x2 will be as it is, which is 0.625. Here also I have to make the correction that it has been replaced and x2 is as it is, which is equal to 0.625. So now let us go for the sixth iteration. Fifth iteration we have seen, where we have found the new values of x1 as 0.6093 and x2 as 0.625. So next iteration will be calculated by considering these two values, as x1 will be equal to 0.6093 and x2 will be equal to 0.625. So let us find out the midpoint between these 2 points as x3. So answer of x3 is nothing but 0.6171, and then we will put the value of x3 in the equation to get f of x3. So we get value, the answer of f of x3, which is nothing but 0.012, which is also positive again. So if we compare the signs of f of x1, x2 and x3, again sign of f of x1 and f of x3 are same. So we will replace x1 with x3, f of x1 with f of x3. So the values of x, that is x1, will be replaced by x3. So now x1 has been replaced as 0.6171. So let us check the accuracy criteria. So absolute difference between x2, which is 0.625, and x1, which is 0.6171, the answer is 0.079. Now if you see, this is less than 0.01, hence we can consider the initial guesses as x1 will be equal to replaced by 0.6171 and x2 will be equal to 0.625. Now if you find the midpoint between these 2 points, it will be your approximated root, which is as close as your real root. So here you can stop after finding out the midpoint between these 2 points. Here I have to make correction that x1 has been replaced and x2 as it is. So now let us go for the last step, where we have to find out the midpoint. Since the criteria of accuracy has been fulfilled in this particular iteration, the value of x1 and x2 can be now used to find out the midpoint, and which is considered to be the exact root. So now if you see here, we have considered x1 as 0.6171 and x2 as 0.625. So we will find out the midpoint between these 2 points and we get answer as 0.6210. So this value of x will be considered as the root of equation, which is approximated answer, which is as close as to your real root. So now we have to tabulate the results which we have performed in various iterations. So we have performed 7 iterations to find out value of x3, that is the midpoint between 2 initial guesses, that is nothing but the approximated root. So you have to make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 columns, and the rows are depend on how many iterations you need to perform. So now if you see, for first iteration value of x1 was 0.5 and x2 was 1. Respective functions, if you can see here, f of x1 is positive, f of x2 is negative. When we find out the midpoint between 0.5 and 1, the answer is 0.75 and the respective function is negative. So now if you see here, the function of function f of x2 and f of xt, signs of these two functions are same, so we have replaced x2 with x3. So if you see here, x2, value of x2 is taken as value of x3 from the previous iterations. So a value of x1 is remains as it is, which is 0.5. x2 value has been replaced with the value of x3, which is 0.75, and again we have found out the midpoint between these 2 points. Now midpoint between these 2 points, that is x1 and x2, 0.5 and 0.75, is 0.625 and corresponding function is negative. So again here the sign of f of x2 and f of x3 are same, so you have to replace the x2 with x3. So this value of 0.625 is assumed to be value of x2 in the next iteration, where x1 will remain same. So 0.5 is x1, x2 is replaced with x3 of previous iteration, which is 0.625, and you can find out the value of x3 by taking midpoint of 0.5 and 0.625. So answer is 0.5625. So now if you find out the corresponding function, now the value is positive. If you compare the value of f of x2 and f of x3 are opposite, but if you compare the value of f of x1 and f of x3, they are same. So what you have to do is, you have to replace your x1 for the fourth iteration with the value of x3 from the previous iteration. So what I did, I assumed the value of x1 as 0.5625 in the fourth iteration, and a value of x2 will remain as it is, which is 0.625. Now again, to find out midpoint between 0.5625 and 0.625, we get answer as 0.5937. So if you find out respective function for this particular value, again it is positive. So you can replace your x1 with the value of x3. For fifth iteration, if you find out the midpoint between these 2 points, answer is 0.6093, and again function is positive, so you have to replace your x1. For sixth iteration also, the function of midpoint, that is 0.6171, which is also positive, so you have to replace your x1. So for third, fourth, fifth, sixth and seventh iteration, value of x2 remains same. Why? Because there is no change in the function, in the sign of the function f of x3, hence value of x2 will remain as it is, value of x1 need to be changed, because sine of f of x3 and f of x1 from third iteration are same. So at the end of seventh iteration you will find that x3 value of x3, which is approximated root, which is equal to 0.6210, and the respective function is 0.059. So the accuracy which we get at the sixth iteration, which is 0.079, which is less than 0.01. Hence we can stop at the seventh iteration by finding out the value of midpoint of initial guesses at 0.6171 and 0.625. So this is how you can stop using accuracy criteria, and you can assume this value of x3 as the root of equation, or approximated root of equation using bisection method. So now after this we will be learning how to solve this particular example on MS Excel. So I will redirect you guys to MS Excel now. So now let us solve the same numerical using MS Excel. So what I'll do is, since we start with the finding out value of initial guesses, I will write here as x, here as f of x. So we will try to find out the, we will start with guessing values of x, and then we will find out respective f of x to check the sign of respective functions. So now let us assume the value of x, which is equal to 0. So to find out f of x, what you have to do is you have to type the sign, you have to type the is equal to symbol, and then you can type as cos. Let me zoom it. So is equal to cos bracket. Now you have to select the value of x from the particular cell where it has been located. You can't write it as 0 here, because for the next steps we have to drag this particular formula. We need not to again and again put the same values of x to find out f of x. So I'll select the value of 0 from the cell A6 because it is located here. So cos A6 minus 1.3 into, now for multiplication you have to use sign star, symbol star, and again you have to write this as A6 because here value of x is assumed to be 0, and now after this you just have to enter. So you can see value of function when x is 0 is 1. So value of f of 0 is nothing but 1. So for next initial guesses we can assume this as 0.5, then 1, then 1.5, then 2, then 2.5, and so on. So now if you want to calculate the values of functions for this particular values of x, you need not to repeat the formula again, that you have to type and then you have to select the cell. You don't have to do it, but what you can do is you just select this particular cell, which is B6, and go to this corner. When you get this plus sign, just drag it till the value of 2.5. You will get the respective values of function. So now if you see here, the sign changes. When x is 0, function is 1. When x is 0.5, function is 0.2275, which is also positive. So both the signs are positive. But when x is 1, the value of function is minus, which is 0.7597. So that means if we select these two initial guesses, obviously there must in between these two initial guesses there must be at least one root it will lie between these two initial guesses. So now after this what we have to do is we have to assume value of x1 here, value of x2 here and value of x3 here. Respective functions can be accumulated here, that is f of x1, then f of x2, and then f of x3. So now as we know, f of x1 value of x1 is considered to be 0.5 and value of x2 is considered to be 1. As we know, the formula to calculate the x3, as it is nothing but the midpoint between these 2 points, so is equal to bracket 0.5 plus 1. Now here, instead of writing the value of 0.5 directly here, I am selecting the respective cell, because this all formulas which we are going to write in this particular row, we are going to drag it for the next iteration. We need not to repeat it manually for next iteration. So that is why I am selecting the cells to select the value of 0.5 and 1. So cell for 0.5 is D6 and cell for 1 is E6. That is why I have taken the addition of these two cells divided by 2. And then you can, for divided by to divide the two values, you can use the forward slash and then divided by 2, and after this you can say enter. You will get the value of respective x3, which is 0.75. Now to find out the values of f of x1, again we will type cos bracket 0.5, that is d6 bracket complete, minus 1.3 into again value of d6, and then you can say enter. So you can get value of f of x1, which is 0.227583. So now to find out the value of f of x1 x3, you just have to drag it. What you can do is, you can select this particular cell, you can go to this corner where you will get the plus sign, and you have to drag it to towards the right side. So you will get respective values of f of x2 and f of x3. If you double click here, value of respective x2, which is located in E6 cell, has been automatically selected. Here also, if you see, value of x from the cell f6, which is x3, has been automatically selected. So you need not to repeat the procedure manually for the similar kind of operations. So now after this, very important criteria is to be applied for selecting the values of initial guesses for the next iteration. So let us assume this iteration as iteration 1, then the next iteration you can drag it, automatically you will get it. So for next iteration, that is iteration number 2, selecting value of x1 and x2 is very important, and obviously it is depends on signs of these three functions. So here try to listen carefully how I am going to select the values of x1 and x2. Okay, so now let us see how to calculate the values of x1 and x2 for iteration 2 with respect to iteration 1. So as we know that we have to compare the signs of these three functions to find out the value of x1 and x2. I will put one condition here, that is equal to if. Now if you see this comment box, it will ask three particular comments, three particular tasks rather. It will ask for first logic test. So as we know that if we want to find out the value of x1, we need to take the multiplication of f of x1 and f of x3. So I will select g6 into f of x3, which is nothing but i6. If it is less than or equal to 0, this is our logic test, g6 into i6. If it is less than or equal to 0, this is logic test. If it is true, now it has been separated by comma. This logic test has been separated by comma. Now it will ask you value if true. So if this is logical test is true, what must be the value to be printed in this particular cell? Now if you take the multiplication of these two functions, you will find that the answer is negative, which is nothing but which is less than 0. So as it is true, you have to keep the value of x1 as it is, because x1 can't be replaced. We know that values of functions which are same has to be replaced with the x3. So in this particular case x2 has to be replaced with x3. So for this particular term, this logic, since this logical test is true, x1 will remain same because x1 will not change, it will assume to be as it is. So that's why I select D6. But if it is not true, if it is false, that we know that as we know that we have to select this particular value of x3, so that x1 will be replaced by x3 if this particular condition is true. So for next iterations we are going to drag the values or formulas which we have computed for row 1 and 2. That is why we are writing it in generalized form. So I will complete the bracket and I will say enter. So now if you can see, value of x1 which is assumed to be same from the first iteration. So now similarly for x2 we will take same condition, that if now we have to take multiplication of f of x2 and f of x3. So h6 into i6, if it is less than or equal to 0, now it will again ask, if it is true I have to keep the values of I have to keep the value of x2 as it is, and if it is false I have to replace it with 0.75. So if you see here, the multiplication of f of x2 and f of x3 is greater than 0, so that means this condition is false at this particular moment. So f6 value must be printed, hence this particular logic test is false, automatically f6 value will be printed in this particular cell. So I will complete the bracket and I will say enter. So now if you see here, value of x2 is automatically taken from the value of x3 from the previous iteration. That means we have replaced x2 with x3. So now if you want to find out the value of x3 for second iteration, you just select this particular cell, go to this corner and just drag it. So you got the midpoint between these 2 points. If you double click on this particular cell, you will find that it has taken summation of D7, that is 0.5, and E7, which was nothing but 0.75 divided by 2. So now we have to find out the values of f of x1, x2 and x3 for iteration 2. What we will do is we will select these 3 cells at the same time, go to this particular corner and drag down. You will get the respective values. Now after this you need not to do it manually. What you have to do is, for the next iterations you have to select all the cells, so that operations which we have performed in D7 cell, E7 cell, F7 cell, G7, H7 and I7 will be repeated accordingly. Hence I have selected all the cells. I'll go to this corner, I'll get plus sign here and you just have to drag it down. So you will find the respective values of the x3, that is approximated root, and respective functions. So now if you compare the values of f1, f2 and f of x1, x2 and x3 for all iterations, you will find that value of x1 was same till third iteration and then it has been replaced, but then value of x2 for the third iteration is same. Now if you want to drag it for the next iterations, if you want to make it for, since it is we are doing it using Excel, you can find out more iterations, and then again we will check accuracy criteria also. So after some iteration you will find that value of x3 will remain constant. Now if you see here, value of x3 after near about 29th iteration is constant. If you see the value of x3 here, automatically it has become constant. So now let us see the accuracy criteria. As we know that accuracy can be calculated by taking absolute difference between x2 and x1. We will write formula as is equal to ABS absolute value bracket x2 minus x1 bracket complete, you will get the answer. This was 0.5, and then you just select this particular cell, go to the corner, you will get plus sign and just drag it. you will get accuracy for respective iterations. So now if you see for 6th iteration, value of or 7th iteration, value of accuracy is 0.0781, which is our criteria was given as 0.01, so which is less than that particular criteria. So here you can stop. So if you see the value which we had calculated using the manual method, which was 0.6210, and if you see here it is also same as 0.6210. So this is how you can solve the numerical using Excel, MS Excel. So you can use this particular Excel tool to check the validity of your answers, manual answers. The same procedure we are going to do in MATLAB in the next session. If you have any doubts, you can ask me at any time by you can contact me on WhatsApp, or you can call me on my number. Thank you so much.